All right, Matt Gaetz just went on Charlie Kirk's show. Pretty sure it's the first interview he's done since he announced that he is withdrawing his bid as the Attorney General, and he announced that he is not returning to the 119th Congress come January. He is done, for the time being at least. Some people think that he might run for the governor of Florida, might run for some position in Florida. That is possible, but I want to show you guys what he says because it's almost embarrassingly absurd. It's offensive. He tries to say that he's not coming back because he's such a patriot, he loves the country, and he thinks that 8 years is enough for him to serve because of some weird Florida law. He thinks that 8 years is perfect. He served his country and now he's gone. He's so altruistic. He's a great man. No, not at all. He doesn't want this report coming out showing that he was involved in this sex trafficking scheme with Joel Greenberg where they Venmo'd thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to a bunch of girls, and a lot of them ended up being underage, and he raped them. Now, he denies this, but when you're 35 years old and you're having sex with 17-year-olds, that is rape of a minor. That is not sex with an underage girl or whatever. So, let's break this down. Drop a like, subscribe to help boost this pro-democracy content, and let's start off with this.
So Matt, I now have to ask about just what your plans are, and it's okay if you have to, punt on it because you might not know. It's important to know you resigned from this Congress, not the next Congress. Our audience is 100% behind Matt Gaetz, by the way. They are very, very upset that you were not able to get all the way to Attorney General.
Of course they're upset. Of course they are. The same people who will whine about Democratic pedophile rings under pizza parlors in New York just don't care when Matt Gaetz has an actual investigation.
I have to ask, what is next for Matt Gaetz?
Charlie, I've been in an elected office for 14 years. I first got elected to the state house when I was 26 years old, and I'm 42 now. And I've got some other goals in life that I'm eager to pursue with my wife and my family. And so I'm going to be fighting for President Trump. I'm going to be doing whatever he asks of me, as I always have. But I think that 8 years is probably enough time in the United States Congress. In Florida, our voters got to vote on term limits for state government, and the campaign was 8 is enough. And
this is such BS. Okay, just think about this for a second. I can't think of a bigger Trump sycophant than Matt Gaetz or the Marjorie Taylor Greene types. I mean, these people have defined their careers as being ultra MAGA, riding off Trump's coattails. So the idea that he just doesn't care about being present for Trump Part 2, this is like the Super Bowl for 4 years for them every single day. Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to be freaking out because Trump is the president of the United States. The idea that Matt Gaetz is just altruistic. 8 years is enough. I'm going to put down my cap because I have served my country well. No, that is not believable whatsoever. Again, it's laughable. It's almost offensive.
So you can only do 8 years in the Florida House of Representatives. And so it seems like a pretty poetic time to allow that great new blood to come in, to allow my district to have high quality representation.
Dude, 1 week ago, this guy was power tripping, dancing all over our graves because he was about to be the most powerful law enforcement officer in the country. And now he's saying that he's just putting down his cap and he is done. He is retiring. It probably has nothing to do with this chart that released from an investigation by the Justice Department showing that he had Venmo'd thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to young women ages 18 to 24. And then the real kicker is the 17-year-old that Matt Gaetz slept with that 2 other people who were, I think, 19 or 20 years old attested to. They said they saw it. They were there. So, I mean, you could see the direct lines. And the crazy thing is, this is Joel Greenberg over on the right, one of Matt Gaetz' best friends from Florida who's in jail for sex trafficking, doing a sex trafficking ring. And I see why they call it a ring now, because you can just directly draw the lines. With Matt Gaetz, it's less of a ring and more of like a spider web down here where he's just reaching out to a few people. But it is funny seeing MAGA supporters twist themselves into pretzels trying to defend this. Joey Manarino, who has 500,000 Twitter followers somehow. I mean, literally he looks like an AI profile, but anybody can get followers on Elon Musk's Twitter, I guess. This guy is real. I've seen him post a few times. He says, "I don't care who Matt Gaetz effed or didn't eff. I want him to eff the deep state. That's all that matters." And the first one says, You don't care if Matt Gaetz fucked a child? They're just like, you really don't care? It's so contradictory because this dude, if the roles were reversed, his head would be blowing up. Could you imagine if a Democratic Speaker of the House, let's say Nancy Pelosi or Hakeem Jeffries, tried to cover up the release of a report that showed that one of the Democratic members was involved in a sex trafficking ring? Republicans would never let that go. To take it a step further, could you imagine if Bill Gates bought Facebook, used Facebook to push pro-Biden propaganda in 2020, and then after Biden won, just casually walked around with him in different areas in the White House and just I was on phone calls with world leaders? Republicans' heads would explode. But he says, I want him to fuck the deep state. Dude, Matt Gaetz is the deep state. What do you think the deep state is? You have powerful people pulling the strings to protect you. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is a powerful person who was literally pulling the strings to protect Matt Gaetz, who was a part of a sex trafficking ring. It can't get much more deep state than that. But let's go back to this podcast and just see how great of a person Matt Gaetz is.
And don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not taking off for a tropical excursion for the rest of my life.
Oh God, please do. That'd be great.
I am here to help save this country. And one thing the great patriots at Turning Point know, we need people at every level. We need brilliant lawyers on the outside. We need tough congressmen and congresswomen on the inside. We need a leadership structure under President Trump that's going to...
Did the feds take away his main laptop and camera too, or his router? Because this is terrible quality, number one. But again, all of the people that are remaining in Congress on the Republican side, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like Lauren Boebert, will still carry on the Matt Gaetz theatric torch, but we just have to hope that people in the Senate, people like Thune, are able to hold the line on democracy. And Donald Trump's new pick for Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who was the AG of Florida from 2011 to 2019, and the first woman elected to that office, all I've heard is that she's pretty not smart. This reads from the Bulwark subreddit, the Pam Bondi pick. This is actually good news. I've spent time personally with Pam Bondi. She is dumb as a box of hammers, this person said. I was astounded by her lack of knowledge and expertise in even the most simple of matters. Borderline troglodyte. Her entire career has been somewhat of a joke. I can't see Trump pulling off his revenge agenda with somebody this monstrously stupid at the helm. Really the best we could have hoped for. And that's a hopium point of view where you have hope. For a darker look at things, maybe they wanted to choose somebody who was so incompetent that they could control. They could be a puppet master. Elon Musk could be enacting his wildest revenge, and Pam Bondi, this pretty blonde woman, is just the face of it all. She is the face of everything. Let me pull her up right here. I mean, Donald Trump is picking people that are just good on TV, which is really interesting. Think about it. One of his very first picks was literally plucked straight off of Fox and Friends, a show that he's watched for a while. He selected Dr. Oz, who had his own show. Matt Gaetz is always using the media and just being this theatrical dude. And then Pam Bondi, I think she looks pretty on camera, but I've read certain things saying that she is not going to be an effective AG, so it makes me wonder, who's going to be pulling the strings behind the scenes? Remember, if we were Republicans draw conspiracy theories about everything, and they would have controlled the narrative entirely on that Matt Gaetz investigation if the roles were reversed. We've been trying, but if we were Republicans and we were conspiratorial, we would say something like, was Matt Gaetz at that party with Mike Johnson? Mike Johnson had to have been at the party because he's trying to cover it up. How many Republican House members were there? How many representatives were at these sex trafficking rings, allegedly? I mean, Republicans like Alex Jones are always creating massive conspiracy theories, and I'm not saying we should do that, but over the next 4 years, let's control this narrative. Let's run the show. Thank you guys for being here and supporting this independent media venture. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
If you enjoyed this video and want to help support independent journalism during the Trump administration, please consider becoming a member of Mockler's channel by clicking the join button below. The content will always be free, but you can help level up the Mockler channel by becoming a member below. Thank you.